Kick some rock all night.
Okay, welcome to the Resident Evil 4 Remake review, guys. Right, nearly 2 weeks, well, 1 week, 3 days, and I finally beat the game. It took like 10 hours plus, and, well, it was worth it for the £60 paid for. Sure. Oh, and the steelbook, as well as the gold case and handgun charm. Let's talk about gameplay. My god, it's amazing. Just look at the clips that I have recorded for the whole time of playing for the 10 hours. Okay, yeah, there was a few stupid deaths, which you'll see a couple of clips here. You know, this game has got great voice acting, character changes, some story changes, which is still good, and I'm glad that they stick to the whole original game as much as they can. I mean, nothing much fully has changed, but there is a few little changes that I did enjoy, which is good for a remake. But some things were like, okay, I'm sure something's missing, but other than that, the game played really well. Running around the main village was pretty awesome, and you know, and this guy popping out of the cupboard, which was weird, never had that in the demo, so I'm gathering that's just a random event that sometimes happens to give it more replayability. But yeah, fighting through this village part was fantastic with all the enemies around and the new mechanics of like dodging and stuff, and the knife works pretty well, which I was surprised about. And you can see there's a little lag, but this is purely because the PlayStation 4 wasn't, you know, capable. But I suppose that's the way of you know, games companies these days. They don't want to make the PS4 still good, so they have to make it look downgraded and rubbish, so that you have to pay out for a PlayStation 5 or a decent gaming PC. But other than that, the graphics look great. You can tell in some of the distant parts where, you know, there's a bit of lag, but that's not a big thing. You had that in Resident Evil 3 Remake as well, but I suppose that's how they made their money, by making it look a bit rubbish so you can buy out a new PlayStation console and all that. Oh, and there's this guy, the chainsaw guy, or Dr. Salvador. He is mental in this. I mean, what much to say? Look at him. He's crazy. He goes around, and I did notice quite a few times. The second time this has happened, I mean, when I done it in the demo, it was just remarkable. But it seems to have happened again in the full game, where I get cut by the chainsaw, and then all of a sudden the bell goes, and it's like, huh, where's everybody going? Bingo. It was just crazy how that happened. It's just at the last minute where I get cut, and then everybody goes to bingo. That happened in the demo as well, which I thought, oh shit, I'm dead, but no, not dead. Okay, it's game time. The whole new added stuff with Louisa teaming up with you. It's pretty cool. I love the fight in the cabin bit, which was quite tense at times, some quite fun. He's very helpful sharing your handgun bullets, which I think he did in the original as well, but he seems to be a bit more, well, the same. But the later on stages after this was quite good, which we'll showcase in a minute. But this whole cabin fight felt a little bit more, well, challenging, should I say, not as, you know, easy as the original, but there were some bits that were like very tense. And I noticed there were some wooden planks on the table, which I guess you're supposed to use, but I decided not to, and then realised there is a challenge for not using it. Apparently, I didn't see the point of using it. I loved the fights and going straight through. It's handy though when Luis gives you some hanging bullets, definitely, because you need it at this point. And quite a few times I do remember using the knife at this point. And well, as you can see, I'm pretty always low on space when I pick things up, which is always the greatest thing you get in Resident Evil 4. Always. I especially love the minecart pit. It was really funny, and it felt a bit longer than the original. I mean, the original was just on one straight track and you get stopped half the time, but this one, it's just like you have to balance left, right, shoot objects, and the odd time a few enemies on other tracks as well, which, yeah, trial and error with this. If you don't know where you're going, you will probably end up going off the wrong side, but just make sure you listen to all the cues and just, fire when you need to, and just keep your guard up all the time. That's my best advice for this part. It's not the same as when you're just sitting there and everybody jumps into the mine carts. No, it's a lot different, which I found was a lot more fun, and it was good to bring more character to Luis and keep him into the game more and have him more playable, than normal. But the whole left side, right side thing was annoying at the best of times, but missing these barrels were a pain. The shooting bit was quite easy on this at the best of times, and going around very fast was fun, and holding the minecarts left and right was a challenge, but doable. Yeah, as you can see there, I fucked that up. I could have shot him, but for some reason half the time when you press aim he wouldn't aim, and I'm not sure why, but I guess it's just the way the game was made, that you can't aim all the time in certain areas. Not sure, but that seems to only happen to me like a few times when I was aiming. And I love the fact that, yes, in the original game you did have the chainsaw guy jump into the car with you. There is a bit where later on that he does follow you and you have to shoot him down, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it for everybody. There is a second part to this minecart afterwards, which you will see in the live streams from me at some point, but I just didn't want to spoil it for you guys who have not played this game yet, so I'll just show you the first half. Ooh, the Krauser fight. Well, that was fun. More, knife abilities are just used here, but God, I had a lot of fun fighting Krauser at this point, and the next point was quite good as well. I mean, you get to fight. It seems that you fight him a lot more in this instead of all the button pressing, all the QTEs and all that rubbish. I found this part quite intense and, well, a learning curve for a first time playing it. I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I just knifed the fuck out of him as much as I could, and that's the best I could. The ending to Krauser, well, that was a bit sad, which we'll showcase, well, just after this clip, and then we'll go on to the next bit. But yeah, a lot of melee were going on in this, a lot of cutting, you have to really bounce. A lot of it is time consuming, a lot of it you got to make sure you hit his knife, and then when he's not guarding, you just stab the shit out of him. It's all pretty fun, but he leaps around like a frog as he always does, but then it goes into the cutscene, which is fantastic. Oh, let's talk about the final Krauser fight. Yeah, I just went a bit mad, and it was probably supposed to do it with a knife, but I just went mad and used every weapon possible on him and just shot the crap out of him. And I found this one a bit more interesting and a little challenge to this, but going compared to the original, it was just fighting him near an edge, and at least you don't have them constantly knocking you off parts, which I think might happen. I don't know. I was just shooting the crap out of him. But this felt a little bit more easier compared to the original. But his death, well, this death ending was a lot better than the original, because the original he just splattered blood and then died. This one he had a nice chat near the end to Leon, and well, just basically said in a way goodbye to his old friend that he trained. I found this one a bit sad, and what a way to, kill his own major off that trained him for so long. Just picking up the knife and then stabbing him through the chest, to stop his suffering, I guess. You could tell Leon didn't want to do it, but it's one of them. Just to let his friend go. I love that ending bit where it's like, I trained you well, Leon. Such a sad end. What can I say about the Salazar fight? Well, this was challenging compared to the original. The original one, at least, it was just tentacles flying from him from the side, and you just have to make sure that his cocoon opened to shoot him. This one, he was just all over the place, which made it a bit more challenging, which is fun because you just didn't want something that was stationary all the time, because that felt a bit easy. If he was stationary all the time, you just shoot him when his head appears and just dodge a few things. This was just crazy because he was all over the place, and God, look at my health already down. But yeah, this I could safely say was challenging, but it is doable, and I didn't die on it. And this is my first playthrough, which I was surprised because I was expecting to die here, but I got through it by just just shooting the crap out of him. That's the best way of doing it. But Ramon Salazar, it's such a hard fight, and let alone I have seen a video where, yeah, you can beat him with ease because it was 2 golden eggs. Wish I knew that, but oh well. I like the challenge, I like the fight, so. And this went on quite a bit, if I remember rightly, but I remember it was so tense as well, running around shooting him, and that acid thing he keeps throwing out. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. But as soon as I got him down, it was like, wow. To me, that felt like the molded fight when the big fat molded that squirts out acid all over you. Just felt like that. But other than that, yeah, this one was creative and really different. But I really like this one compared to the original. But God, was it challenging! I love the way that it let me reload for a bit until he hit me. But as soon as I got him down, I was like, yes, this is it. This is over with. Stab him in the eye and shoot him one more time, and then boom. I was like, oh, thank Christ, I finished it. This boss really good. From all the bosses I played through, this one and the final boss was the funniest and challengingest. Also the other one. This one. Oh, Verdugo, whatever you want to call him. This boss was tense as all hell. I wasn't expecting to, well, get as far as I did with him. I thought this was going to be one of my toughest deaths I would have in this. But luckily enough, it wasn't. And at the same time, I managed to, well, survive by knifing him, as you can see here, which I thought was not possible, but I was knifing the hell out of him just to survive because I've run out of majority of bullets. But yeah, once I got through that, it was tense. From the original, you just have to run away from him, that's all I remember, and just dodge him. This one, you have to really fight him a bit more, but the whole knifing him thing was just, I was like, well, I've got nothing left. Just keep knifing him and see what happens. I was hoping to beat him, but I don't know if you can beat him with a knife. I mean, there is knife only challenges out there, so I'm sure it's possible. But my god, I was in such a tense fight with this. And at the same time, yeah, being tense, I thought this was funny. There's just knifing the crap out of him so I can get to the point of, you know, either dying and have to start again or actually beating it. And as soon as the elevator doors came open, I was like, right, let's try and get out of here. And lucky enough the elevator came in time, because I don't think I would have beaten this if this elevator didn't came in time. I was still trying to knife him here to see if I can beat him, but then I was like, no, let's get in the elevator. I love this added extra bit where you face against two El Gigantes, and they added Luisa to this. I thought was pretty good that they added him into it, because, you know, it made this fight a little bit more easier, but I wasn't expecting to have Luisa in it. It was just like a shock. I was like, uh-oh, we're coming up to the El Gigante fights, and yeah, it was good that Luis was there. It made the game a bit more different. And here's me, you know, trying to, well, I tried to use the thing here to lower him in, but it just, well, it doesn't work. Unlike the original game, you just pull it down and then they fall in it. I think there's a challenge that you have to make sure one of the El Gigantes get down there, but maybe in another time I'll try and do that in a stream or a separate video to how to do it. So I just not worked it out myself yet, but other than that, I thought this part was quite entertaining and fun, and it felt good that we had not only a tag team, basically me and Luis taking on the two El Gigantes instead of just a handicap match with, you know, two El Gigantes on Leon. But yeah, I mean, this fight felt quite good, quite easy, and yeah, I never had much trouble with this as in the original one either, but at least with the original one you can zip line around them and make sure they fall through the hole quicker than they do in this one, and you didn't have to hold the lever down for it. Yeah, I decided to shoot his ass and then slice. I like the way the other El Gigante's standing there. You can't attack whilst I'm in that sort of cutscene there. Funny. Wow, this hallucination scene right here was spot on. I was not expecting this to be in the remake, and this wasn't in the original, but god, this felt really good and creepy and weird, and I was like, wow, I'm glad they added this in, because this makes it a bit more different to the original game. Probably a bit more to the original, you know, the prototype version of Resident Evil 4, where, you know, Leon would have hallucinations and all that. So I was glad this was added in. I really enjoyed this part. Really good. Well, now it's time for the final boss. I don't want to show too much of this if you haven't played this already. I haven't got that far, so I won't ruin it for you guys by putting a lot of the footage in and the ending footage. But I'd like to say this boss wasn't hard, but it was challenging and different from the original. It had a bit more of an area to run around to get through, and he had so many attacks on me, but at least one thing, I didn't die. Sometimes for some reason the input of the invade didn't work, and I kept on pressing circle and it wouldn't work half the time. But yeah, I don't know why I ran in there. Running in there was supposed to be, I gathered I was going to be knifing him in the eye, but it didn't stay down long enough. But I found this really challenging and a lot of fun. I mean, it had more to do with it, and it felt it lasted a bit more longer than the original, and you know, it just felt, you know, I liked it as a challenge. Could have been a bit more different, but you know, at least there was more room to maneuver and get around, and half the time the dodge mechanic or the evade button works. I only found this challenging, that's all. The whole shooting him in the eye thing, yeah, that was like from the original, so that wasn't that difficult to go by, but his second form was a pain in the backside, I could say that. But the whole final ending was quite, that's absolutely a struggle, but once you get, obviously you get the rocket launcher if you played the original game. Yeah, once I got that, I was like, yeah, this is finally over. After taking 1 week, 3 days to beat, and taking about 10 hours plus to beat it, was a hell of an achievement, hell of a fun, and really insane. Alright, well, I'm going to leave the video playing for a bit so we can go through like the final thoughts of this game. I'm going to be thoroughly enjoying replaying this through as a live stream, and I'm going to restart from the beginning with New Game Plus, so I can have all the weapons at the start. I'm going to try and make sure I find all the blue medallion things. I'm going to find all the treasure. I'm going to try and get all the challenges out of the way in the stream. I'm going to try and in some videos find, well, not videos, well, at least they respawn, so I'll try and do a video on all the locations of the blue medallions, and do some hints and tips on it, and my views of going across it, as well as looking at trying to get, all the challenge stuff done. But overall, I feel that this remake is really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and my final thoughts are 9 out of 10. I loved the game. It was so good. The gameplay, the graphics were amazing. But there's a few hit and miss stuff that I was, like nitpicky, like Resident Evil 3 Remake. But it's PS4. What do you expect? This version was a bit laggy in places, but I suppose that's how they force you to buy a new PS5 or, a bigger gaming tower, so you can boost your graphics up and make it so there's no lag in it. I did find some parts quite easy compared to the original, and following the original game, it really plays off very well. You can, transition stuff from the original game into this game when you play through it, so you don't get lost. I love how the voice actor who plays the merchant sounds like Cody from Star Wars Rebels, or Boba Fett, whichever you want. He played Cody, he played Rex, he played most of the clones, he played Boba Fett, and the Lord Sidious guy. I mean, Lord Sadler. Yes, he sounded like Darth Sidious. When I first saw him come on the screen and the cutscene with him, it was like, oh, he's Darth Sidious. But other than that, I enjoyed this game. I found it fun. If you played this already, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video. If you haven't played it already, I really 100% recommend you do play it. It's worth the money. Definitely get the Still Edition because you get that little extra, and definitely get the Deluxe Edition for all the other stuff. All the added stuff to it makes it more fun to play and more enjoyable and something different. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me for this video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, share to your friends on social media, and we'll catch all you The Game Row Studio fans in the next one. Dismiss.